I have been finding avenues to spread the word that women can too do these things.
Welcome back to Pushing Your Peers podcast, the number one podcast in the region for living a progressive and happier life. Today we're diving into the powerful story of resilience and breaking barriers. My guest, Oriel Selver, went from the world of nursing to making serious moves in the construction industry. In a field traditionally dominated by men, she's not just surviving, she's thriving, mentoring, and paving the way for others. Get ready for an inspiring conversation about passion, perseverance, and purpose. Sit back, relax, and let's get ready to push some peers. I just want to welcome Oriel Selver to the show. It's been long overdue. I'm excited to have Oriel on the show because she is what I'm calling a local pioneer. And I would call her a woman of the soil. We always say the son of the soil. I say a daughter of the soil, innit? So, Oriel, thanks for coming on Pushing Your Peers podcast. And let's dive straight into it. You're taking over your father's construction company, right? What was that conversation like when you first went to him and said that, Dad, I want to run this business?
The stigma attached to women doing things that men do is like, oh, why don't you go do something else? I never got that from him, ever. So it was always supportive and how can I help you? And do you have any questions? Extremely supportive, even today, because I don't know everything. I've only been in the space for this year, make 10 years that I made the transition from healthcare into construction. It took 10 years to get to this space. And not that I have fully gotten into Selver's air conditioning in a sense, but honestly, having the exposure in the United States helped me make my own path. Let me make a name for myself was the idea. So here, I'm introducing myself. Oh, I'm Orville's daughter. I'm the AC Nan's daughter. In Atlanta, they know me as Oriel. Like everybody, oh, that's who you need to call for XYZ. That's Oriel. But here, people knew me as a kid. I don't know, but having to explain who I am is definitely have to do that a lot. Which brother I belong to, it's a whole thing. So haven't fully gotten into working with him, but I created my own space, Selver and Co. Construction, where I provide cost estimates, material takeoff, site supervision, vendor management. So in Atlanta, I saw where there was a space where small general contractors, they have their license to pull permits and do all these things. They do not have maybe the funding to have a full-time project manager on staff. So they would call me, hey, Oriel, I have an inspection for plumbing at this time. Can I hire you to come and stay here for the day? And I would do that. So that in turn helped me to create jobs for the people around me and offer internships to people who may want to come into the space, because the things that I felt like I wish I had coming in, I wanted to make sure I was that for those coming behind me. So mentoring, volunteering at any opportunity that I can if it's not going to exhaust what I'm already currently working on, and just being available to answer questions. The construction industry is so big. Like, I don't even know if people understand, or women understand how important they can be in the space. We have a construction accountant that is on the board for the National Association for Women in Construction. So it's different avenues you can go. You can be an interior decorator. That is considered construction. We call that FF&E, furniture, fixtures, and equipment. That is a part of the building plans. You need that. Um, it's so many ways to get into the space. You could be a safety coordinator. It's so many things to do. Or you can write children's books about construction.
Mm.
You're still in the construction industry. So my book, Connie Loves Construction, is still making its way around. Um, I wrote that book because I know that I had that support from my dad. So I went to Barnes and Noble one day looking for a book for my niece, um, to show her what I do, and it did not exist. There was no such thing as a girl in construction that's black in Barnes and Noble. Did not exist. So I created it.
Boom.
I have been finding avenues to spread the word that women can too do these things. And not that you have to put the things that you truly like on the back burner, per se, to just focus on your career. Because with the book, I've never written a book before, but I figured out how to do it. The illustrations, after writing the book and going to the different schools and libraries and all these different things, I was like, "Ooh, this book needs a song." So I wrote a song to go with the book. I have someone from California singing. Um, Crazy fun fact: the guy that produced, along with DJ Mustard, Kendrick Lamar's "They Not Like Us," produced my song. Yeah, Matt Beasy. Yeah, he
Ama-
Matthew did that for me. He did that for me last year. I believe we put that song out. It's on Apple Music. It's on Spotify. It's on YouTube. Like, if you like music, if you like arts, if you like, you can incorporate your current industry into whatever it is that you like. You'll figure it out if that's truly what you want to do. So, yeah. Um.
Oriel, so you're making waves, right?
mhm,
And you're occupying this space that
mhm,
is uncommon to your to women,
yeah.
right? Um,
hmm
what what mindset, what personality do you have to have as a woman when you enter this field? Because I'm sure you're not coming all smiley or bubbly. Like, is there a certain demeanor you have to possess as a woman entering a male dominated field like construction?
Well, with that being said, I guess because I did not have that. I did not have in the initial, um, someone that had already done it before me. My mentor at the moment coming in is my dad. That's a man. So of course he's not gonna mistreat me. He's not gonna say crazy, demeaning things to me. Um, it wasn't until I had to go get that experience in Atlanta where I did not have the best, from men and women, did not have the best experiences. There was several situations of sexual harassment. Um, Initially from the owner of one of the construction companies I worked for, and then it came from the women. Yes, the women started to do and say things. And I think my honestly, knowledge is power, and knowledge is also intimidating. We can say that, intimidating. So because I knew more than those interns that came in with me, um, the owner of the company would kind of like put us against each other.
Yeah.
So one young lady was not as fluent in blueprint reading, and she gave the wrong information to a subcontractor, which in turn delayed the process of the build. So he's upset with her, and he's using really bad words. Um, Calls me from my desk. This is while I'm working on the Obama project. calls me from my desk and told me, show her where the fire hydrant is and don't let her come from over here until she figures it out. We came into this program together. So to put us against each other, I know exactly where it is because I have previous experience with working with my dad. I know how to read blueprints and follow the water. So show her where it is. She goes into the office and he said, okay, the next time you have a problem and you can't figure it out, ask Oriel. Not nice. He should not have did that. So now this girl is upset with me because I'm showing her up or whatever. And yes, the craziest things happened in that first year, maybe 2 years of being in the industry. And experiences like that caused me to start my own company where I am in control of who I do business with and who I associate with. Not all money is good money. Let me do my own research and to see if your beliefs or even your character aligns with what I want to be representing. I don't, if it's not gonna make me look good in any light, I don't want to do it. No, thank you. So I've 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 had several experiences that definitely probably should have broke me, but I don't break. Um, I might be sad for like a day and then I'll just go shopping or have a coffee or something to bring me back to my one and then I'll get it done.
You know,
Then I'll
I
figure out something to do. Hmm.
I want to touch on something, and it's a serious topic because it's been coming up a lot in the past 2 years, and it is sexual harassment, and
Hmm.
it's one of those things that is not talked about enough, right? And you
Right.
mentioned
Hmm.
having a series of experiences like this, right?
Oh yeah.
What were some strategies or what did you do to combat that one? And what strategies or advice do you have for women coming into this field? Because this is a male dominant field, and
Hmm. Hmm.
those situations could happen often or present itself often to women coming into these fields. So how did you
Right.
combat your experiences, one, and two, what advice and strategies do you have for women coming into this field in regards to those?
Whew. Okay. Now, in the beginning, because I had never dealt with this type of thing before, right? I finally found an organization that was dedicated to women and then Black women in the construction space. So the president at the time, I go to her, and what I'm working on right now is really important to me, and I don't want to not finish this opportunity or miss out on this opportunity because I can't take somebody saying something to me. I'm trying. And in doing that, I made myself sick. I lost about 20 pounds. Um, I was overcompensating. I knew um, the work. Like it was easy peasy. But I'm trying to prove myself and show myself worthy. Like you don't have to come at me in a sexual way. Like I'm just here to do work. Let me prove to you this is what I'm here to do. So that year, my son started high school and I put him in an Uber to make sure I was at the office ahead of time. Let me get the coffee started. Let me make sure the plans are printed. Let me make sure that if I have any site visits for the day, like my schedule is together. I'm there at 7. The office didn't open till 9. I'm beyond on time. Um, I probably would not advise anybody to stay in a toxic work environment, especially when you can prove that these things are happening to you. Report it to HR. If that is not sufficient, which in my case, I reported to HR, and HR in turn shared my um, grievance with the office.
Mm,
Okay. So, the day I quit was actually Martin Luther King's birthday. And I don't know why I felt so inspired by this weekend. I don't know. But I didn't even have a job lined up. I just couldn't take it anymore. So I typed up my resignation. I left it on the desk, took all of my things, and mailed back their computer and the keys to the office. And then the next day, which would have been Tuesday, everybody's calling, "Oh yeah, where's your things? Somebody took all your stuff." I quit. I quit. And not that also would help me do that too is I had to remember who I was. And if God wanted me to be in this space, He would not make this so horrible and hard to bear. Like I would not be losing weight. I would not be overcompensating when I already am qualified for this position. Um, and two, the internship was only supposed to last 3 months. I was an intern for almost a year.
Wow.
And I'm thinking it's because I did not take this man up on his advances. He told me that if I was looking for a sugar daddy, that I needed to speak up because 55-year-olds can't hear. And he said that in the company of other people, knowing that if it ever came up again, that these people were so loyal to him that they would not side with me. I experienced some things. So I would say report it. If you're not satisfied with the outcome, find somewhere else. There's other companies out there that will embrace you, and you would think that if women were involved, that that wouldn't be a thing. But that one particular lady that purchased an item for me as a secret Santa gift, that was not nice. It's very disgusting. And she was my parents' age. So there's a lot of that too. I don't know what you call it, but women that are of an older age will be intimidated by a younger woman. I don't know exactly what that is, and I just pray to God that I do not assume that because it seems like it's a thing instead of embracing, oh, my time is up. You know what I'm saying? Make room for the next coming in. Like, it's okay, relax, sis. And that's when I feel like a lot of times when we see these events happening, talking about women empowerment and all, sometimes it's just, it's just beautiful. That's all. When it's truly broken down for you to demonstrate women empowerment, it's not happening. So me, I'm truly a girl's girl. If I can help, I will. But don't take my kindness for weakness. I don't play.
Oriel, thank you for
Mhm. Oh yeah.
your candidness and also your courageous efforts. I'm sure a lot of people are listening in right now
Mhm.
and they're motivated by what you're saying, especially because even though we talk about construction, this can be
Mhm.
applicable to any male dominated field, which you're talking about.
Oh yeah.
So I
Oh
just
yeah.
want to thank you for sharing that. Now, there's one more thing I want to talk to you about before we
Mhm.
segue into the second half of the show, and that is education. You know, you talk
Yeah.
about putting on your workshops and mentorship and all these great things you're doing. Having a children's book. All of these are contributing to the education field. When you look at our system in the Turks and Caicos Islands, what impact or what needs to change so that more women gets involved in the construction industry, whether it's at the curriculum level or in any level, at the college level? What needs to change in our education system to get more women involved?
Well, I think it's before we even get to education, it's community. And those who are already in the space that have jumped the hurdles and done all the things, coming together and making a safe space for that new generation that wants to come in. So, as far as myself and Kier, Adams Hegner is concerned, we had the opportunity to experience construction, training, architectural education outside of the islands. And for me, working and being a chairperson for the National Association for Women in Construction Atlanta has definitely opened my eyes to a broader experience, to know what we can do here to make it appeasing, one, safe, two, and finding local partners that believe in the same thing. So, um, definitely an organization first, which we started, the Turks and Caicos Women in Architecture, Construction, and Engineering. We launched that last month, and of course, we be going into the schools. Um, I'm sure soon we'll be partnering with the Department of Education and the technical college and everything else. But I think it is definitely going to have, because it's a mindset that we need to start breaking down, because women don't do that. Women don't. Women do plenty. Women bear children. Like we can do a lot. So I'm definitely thinking community first, and then we can move into those other spaces. But if you have the idea, and I know there's several women here. I just spoke to somebody who met a young lady from Clem Howell that wants to go to school for civil engineering, but we don't have that here, and she doesn't know anybody who's doing that or know anybody that does that, or just she does not have that visual of, or a place to meet. Maybe once a month, Wednesday, we meet at the Grace Bay Market. If you're interested in construction, or if you are in construction, we're meeting up to have a meeting about the current changes of technology in the construction industry. If it doesn't exist, you won't know. It'll just be a dream or an idea. But if you present, then that's just half the battle. So I think presenting that, and having a safe space for women before even insisting you come over here, because you're gonna need somebody that's already in the space. You need advocates. hmm
Thanks for
That's my thoughts.
thanks for sharing that. I love how
hmm
you spoke about the grassroots approach. You know,
hmm
that community component, that
Oh yeah.
that Gandhi quote, where if you want to be the change, you be the change that you want to see.
hmm
Michael Jackson
Oh,
said,
definitely.
I'm looking at the man in the mirror." you know,
Exactly.
you know. So thanks for sharing that, Oriel. It has been a pleasure, absolute pleasure, having you on
hmm
Pushing Your Piece. And you wouldn't be a guest on Pushing Your Piece podcast if you didn't get to push your piece. So
hmm
any words or word that begins with the letter P that has been transformational to your journey, you now have an opportunity to push your piece.
Oh, my P, my P is passion. Passion. You have to love it in order for it to work. That's my P.
Passion.
hmm
And you
Passion.
talk about loving it, I mean, it sounds broad. Like, can we give me some more? You,
Okay,
I feel like
so
that's, yeah, yeah, you know where I'm going.
let me get in there. Let me dig up in
Yeah,
there
yeah,
for you.
yeah, yeah, for
So
sure, for sure.
for me, initially, the idea was only for family legacy. Oh, I gotta make sure I keep my dad's business going. I gotta keep the family name. Blah, blah, blah. That was the idea. But in being exposed to estimating, being exposed to project management, we have HVAC, we have architecture, we have blueprint reading, we have community outreach. Just so many things that I like, which kind of segue me into all different types of things. I'm instructing, like I'm writing referrals for people to get jobs. I'm mentoring. I had two mentees at one time. Both requested to have me be their mentor in this project that we were recently doing. And that was never. done before. And just out here to do the Lord's work. And that includes being a helper and definitely displaying my passion for the world. And initially, it wasn't a passion. It wasn't. It was family legacy. And it became that for me. So that's why I feel like I'm thriving. And I think, to be honest, if I was not supposed to be doing it, it wouldn't be this easy.
Boom.
That's how I feel.
Love
It
it.
wouldn't work. It wouldn't work if I wasn't supposed to be doing this. So to God be the glory.
Amen. Now,
Hmm.
Oriel, there's two more questions and we wrapping this thing up. Now,
Okay.
we usually have a segue question, something out of the box. So,
Uh-huh.
are you ready for your out of the box question?
Ooh, I think I'm ready.
So, the out of the box question is, if animals can subtly talk, which
Hmm.
animal do you think would be the rudest animal?
Honestly, I think it's alpaca, or is it the llama? Which one spits?
I think it's the llama.
Yeah, the llama.
It
It's
reminds
the
me of
llama.
the Disney movie. Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Rude. Very rude. Because why you spitting on people? Doing that.
Lovely. I love that one.
Hmm.
Final question. Younger self, uh,
Hmm.
that one golden piece of advice, what would you give to her?
What would I tell her? I would tell her to keep going. The sky is not the limit. We're gonna go to the galaxy. Oh, stay focused,
Hmm.
girl. It's gonna get good. Ooh, um, don't listen to the negative feedback because those people have nothing else to talk about anyways. And if you focus on that, it's gonna stop you from moving forward and keeping that traction. So don't look back. Don't even look to the side. You gotta keep straight. Head up, shoulders back. Hmm.
But the blind
Oh
is,
yeah,
but the yeah.
put them on. Please put them on. But yeah, that's what I would tell her. Hmm.
Oriol, thank you so much.
Thank
This has
you.
great episode, and thank you for being candid. Thank you for giving advice. Thank you for encouraging women and also others to, take the lead, and be the change that they want to see. Ladies and
Oh yeah.
gentlemen, a powerhouse, a pioneer in the construction field, a woman's advocate in the construction field as well. Oriel Selver, it has been a pleasure having you on Pushing Your Peers podcast, and I'll see you guys next week.